Hello everyone, my name is Ashish Katyal. Today we are starting a new journey regarding R programming, and under that R programming we have to first know how to install R as well as R Studio. Both are useful for doing data analysis. The only difference is R Studio has certain extra features, that is graphical user interface, which is not available in R, and it is easy to use as compared to R. So the first question arises, how to download R. For doing that, first we have to simply type R and language in the Google platform, and when you search that thing, then there are various links, and under that if you want R language download, then automatically when you click that, CRAN website will come into picture. So it is cranrproject.org, and here it is showing download R 4.3. It is the latest version today. So I up to date I'm downloading it. So here it is, because I am using Windows for sorry, for Windows, I am using the 4.3.1 version. So here it is showing download. So in the download, it is already downloaded, but you can also download it at the same time. Because I have already installed, I am not downloading again. So for R Studio, you have to simply type R Studio download. So in that website is posted. So in this case, you can easily see that R Studio desktop version is available. Because I have already downloaded, I am not downloading it again. But it is already showing that for installing the R Studio, the first step is installing the R. I have already done that. So I'm not clicking on this, because if I click on this, it will show that I have already downloaded the version previously. So it is already there. So I'm not downloading it. I have already installed it. It is simple to install, because when you click on exe file, then it simply says next, and after that next option, you will end up towards that installation process. So it is quite easy. So after installation of R, we can see our major focus is on R Studio in this particular workshop. So in this case, you can see this. So for checking whether that R is working or not, then you can simply calculate the simple calculation like 2 plus 3, which is 5, or maybe you can see multiplication, simple multiplication, or you can see simple division like this. So all the things, all the basic calculation, you can check whether the R is working or not. Also, you can check, or you can simply delete this console terminal or console window by simply clicking Control plus L. By using that thing, the screen will be clean. And after that, you can also make new files like R script. The advantage of this is that this data will not be lost when you switch off that particular session, or you can easily retrieve those files and you can share these files with other people who are working on the same project. So it is quite easy to use. And the only thing you have to keep in mind that the R format, that is when you save the file, R scripts in .r format. For example, in case of Python, we store in .py format. So in case of R, it is .r format. So you have to keep this thing in it. For example, the simple basic calculation which we have done earlier. So for it is same in case of R as well as Python. That is how to define a comment with a hashtag symbol. For example, I am writing a addition function. So it is addition function, it is there. And after that, when you click on shift enter, then it automatically goes towards the next line. So after that, for example, I am typing, for example, x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 9, and I have to do various kind of calculation. For example, under C, it is showing x plus y. So all the variables has been saved into C. So you can easily check. If you want to step by step run that particular thing, then you can simply click on this particular current session, or you can simply use Control and Enter. So when you use Control and Enter in case of Windows, then it will automatically show. For example, you can see x is equal to 3, and after that, anywhere, for example, cursor is before y, but you simply click Control Enter, then it automatically print that thing, that is y has been defined. And you can see that in environment also, these value has been defined. For example, if you want to see in console what is x, so you can simply see it is 3, and in case of y, what is y, it is simply 9. So if you want to execute C, so it is C is equal to x plus y. So here I am clicking on it, Control and Enter. So it has already been, the value has been saved already in case of C, that is 12. So you can simply see C here, or you can simply see type C here and shift, not shift, control enter, then it will show you the result. So all the basic calculation you can perform here. So for example, rather than defining or saving, in case of R, this is equal to symbol is quite less common, but there is another thing which is most commonly used, that is arrow sign as well as dash. So it is most commonly used. So the question may come to your mind, how we can type this two different things simultaneously, and it will lesser our efficiency while doing programming in case of R. But there is a shortcut, that is Alt and dash. When you do this, for example, I am using Alt and dash, it automatically make that symbol. So it is a shortcut. So for example, all the values has been placed in C again, so I am executing it. Rather than equal to will also work, but most of the common terminology in case of R belongs to this less than as well as dash symbol, which means the value has been allocated towards that particular variable. So in this case, you can simply type C and you can see the value is already available. Or you can simply see, for example, D is not is equal to, I am using a shortcut Alt dash, it will automatically create that symbol, and I am multiplying that thing, for example, with 3. Along with that, I am adding y raised to power, for example, I am raising it 6. So what will be the value of this D? So it has been executed, and you can simply see what is D. So here also you can type D, or here simply you can in the console also you can type D. So all the things has been listed here. The value has been come when all the calculation has been taken place. So here we are multiplying x with 3 and we are raising the power of y with 6. So y raised to power 6 plus as well as 3 raised to power 3 into 3, that is the value which we come, and we can add this to all together, sorry. So we will get the result. So rather than doing simple calculation, we can also use various libraries, pre-installed libraries in R, or as well as some specific libraries which we can use in case of R. For example, I am giving a simple example of in this particular session, that is how to install any library function or which we want to use. For example, the most popular function is tidyverse. So for example, in my case, the package has already been installed. You can simply check whether it is available or not. So you can see in the case of packages whether that particular thing is available or not. So it is started with T. So whether it is available or not. So tidy verse. So maybe it is available. So I am just checking whether it is available or not. If it is available, then it will ask me it is available, or it will override it. So the basic command is install packages, install, and R is quite helpful in doing and helping you in such a way that, for example, it is showing install.packages, and under curly brackets, not curly bracket, under quotes, it is you have to give the thing which you want to install. So it is tidyverse, tidyverse. So again, control enter. So here it is installing. So it will take some time. So it is showing it is installing. So it is successfully unpacked and it has been installed. So for calling that particular library, that we need library function. So it is library again, which particular thing I have to call. So it is tidyverse, tidyverse. So automatically it is coming. So again, we have called that thing. It is taking some time. So you can see all the 9 different packages, that is dplayer, redder, all the stringer, all the tider, all the this 9 different functions are already available in that, and there are certain other things which we can call by using this thing. So we will discuss this thing in the subsequent classes, but the only motto for this particular session is to introduce how to install certain kind of function in case of R, and how we can call that function. Also, for example, there are certain other packages. For example, I want to use certain kind of packages which are already available in case of tidyverse. So for example, I am saying okay, install, or we can call simply if it is already there in case of tidyverse, because we have already called tidyverse. Now we are saying I have to take a database of Palmer penguins. So library PALMER penguins NGUINS. So it is already showing me that when I do that thing, so it is already there. So it has already been loaded. Also, there is a library that is known as GG themes for plotting that thing. So I'm calling that library that is GG themes. So I have called that thing, control enter, and it has already been called. So you can see that it is built in 4.3.1. so ours is 4.3.1. so it is more than that, so it can easily take those packages. Along with that, we can load certain kind of database which is already available in case of tidyverse. So for example, there is a package known as database package you can known as penguins. So if I call it penguins, then you can simply see in a short format, that is there are 344 entries in the form of rows and 8 different variables that are there. For example, species are there, islands are there, bill length in millimeter are there, bill depth, the bill depth in millimeter are also there, flipper length and body mass is there in the form of grams, sex of that particular penguins are there, and the year in which this data has been recorded. All the 8 entries has been there, but it is quite long data. You can see 344 entries are there, so we are getting only this small picture of that. There is a small short command for that also, for getting top 5 or maybe top 6, that is head of penguins, not that head of penguins, the head of penguins, that is we have to find out the top entries. So if I'm doing that thing, so you can see, you can type your commands in console also, or you can type your command in the script also, which we have already saved for saving. For example, this is my first tutorial. So for example, our first tutorial, no, it is a quite big name, so I'm saving it in a very common format. It is R first, so .r. So it is my first file and it is saving at desktop and R or DS. You can also change the location. I will show you in the subsequent sessions, that is how to change the location. So .r is there, it has already been saved. So you can see in case of head, total 6 entries has been given out of this 344, and along with that 8 variables are there. If you want bottom 6, then this is a command that is known as tail of penguins, not that tail of penguins. It is a command in case of R. So this is penguins, sorry. So when I use the tab option automatically, then it will give me the bottom 6 option entries of that particular database. Along with that, there are other 2 commands by which we can simply see what kind of entries are there. One is known as glimpse command. Glimpse. So in case of glimpse, you can also see what kind of entries are there. So my database was penguins. So in this case, I have entered this penguins, and you can see there are 8 different columns. Rather than showing in the horizontal direction, it is showing in the vertical direction. You can see species, island, bill length, bill depth, flipper length, body mass, sex and year, all the things which are available in the previous command, that is head, tail, as well as simple writing penguins. It is available in horizontal, but in case of this glimpse, it is available in the vertical direction. So 8 entries are there, and in the horizontal direction, all 344 entries are there, which is available. So in this case, along with that, there is a command that is known as view. V is in capital. So in that case, it is a very refined version by which we can see the entries which are available in that particular database. So for example, here I am typing penguins. So here penguins are there, and I am control enter doing that. Or you can see in the above, there is a penguins tab that has been opened, and there are 8 different variables which are there. Along with that, 344 entries are there. You can see 344 entries of that particular things are there. So these are the things we can use in case of R. And at the end, I want to show there is a simple plot function that we can use, that is known as ggplot in this case, which is already available in that particular library. So ggplot, and what kind of data we are using? We are using the data in the form of penguins. So you can say penguins. So in this case, and in the subsequent videos, I will show you, you do not have to write every time data, what is mapping, all the things. For the ease, you should know what kind of things. So in this case, you can see there is a plot, but nothing has been printed. Why? Because we have not mapped anything in that particular. So for mapping anything, you have to define what is X variable, what is Y variable, so that you can plot. So I'm just changing that thing and adding one more thing. The good part of R is that when you use upper arrow, that is, then we will get the previous command which we have entered. So along with that, we have already called the data for which we have to plot, and we have to define along there are 8 different variables, and out of 8 which we 2 variables we have to plot. So we have to use comma and we have to define. There is a mapping thing. In the subsequent video I will tell you there is no need for defining data mapping. You can simply type penguins comma x, or maybe the aesthetic is there. For example, you have to decorate your map, and for decorate your map there is a command that is known as aesthetic command, AES for the short, and you have to tell in that particular command that what is x-axis and what is y-axis. So x is equal to, for example, and the good writing you can say writing practice is to give space so that anyone can read that particular command. So I'm giving space. X is equal to, for example, I want to plot flipper length and body mass. So here it is flipper length and there is body mass. So in those 2 parameters I want to find whether there is any relationship between flipper size, that is flipper length, along with that of body mass. If flipper length is increased, whether body mass also increases or not. This kind of relationship I want to find by using ggplot. So x is equal to, for example, I am saying flipper. So flipper, FLIPPER, flipper. Along with that, the exact name you have to type because R is a case sensitive language. So length in mm. Along with that we have to define y. Y is equal to body mass in grams. So it is there. So it is a simple plot, so I can check whether it is working or not. So you can say here one additional thing has been come into picture. Right now it is showing the flipper length as well as body mass, but it is not showing the graph. So what has been missing? So in this case we have to define which kind of graph we have to make. Either it's a bar graph, either it's a line graph, either it's a box plot, or it's a simply point graph. So in this case, for example, we are making a point graph. So for doing that thing, we use a concatenation function that is known as plus. After this, the previous command I have already recalled by the use of arrow sign, and after that we have to use plus by using a space, and after that shift enter we have to type so that it will tell what kind of plot we have to make. So there is a command that is known as geometry, which geometric plot we have to make. So GEOM, and it will show me the various option which we have to make. Either it's a bar or maybe box plot. So in this case I am making a point, that is point graph. So in this case I am using that, and after that enter is there, and you can simply see there is a plot that is made for this body mass as well as flipper length, and it is this scatter plot easily tells me the correlation. I am not sure, but it is showing the positive correlation. That is, when we increase the flipper length in millimeter, then the body mass of that particular penguins are also increasing. So there are various questions that we will address in the subsequent videos, but for today you have already seen how to install R as well as RStudio, how to install various kind of function which is not available in case of R, and how to call that functions, and how to make a simple plot in that. So 5 things which we have learned in the today's session. So in the subsequent videos we will deal with more kind of examples. Thank you so much.